So when you say those affirmations and when you reframe, how must you go about saying your affirmations? What is the strategy? What is the process? You got to put some passion into it, some fire. What's the saying that you tell yourself a lie long enough, it becomes what? The truth. That is true. So you must reprogram your brain in a more positive light. You want to say, I'm a winner. You want to put your physiology in it. It needs to be purposeful. It needs to be passionate. The 5 C's, confidence, courage, certainty, clarity, conviction, right? You must have that all in your soul. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner, right? You're walking in the hallway, you're saying it out loud, I'm a winner. People will be looking at you weird, but it's okay. Be like, this is a self-improvement one, all right? All right, so you need to say that with passion and enthusiasm. I give you permission to fake it till you make it. Okay? Give yourself permission to fake it till you make it. Okay? I've even make sure, ideally you want to write out all your affirmations. Make sure you have everything in writing. My affirmations, ladies and gentlemen, are 7 pages, type, single space, 10 font. Okay? And I've even taken it to the next level. I have my little smart recorder app on my smartphone, and I've recorded all my affirmations talking to myself. I am successful. I am this. I am that. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And I listen to it in my car. I listen to myself speaking in the car. What am I doing? I'm reprogramming my brain. Because the thoughts you think about on a repetitive basis form your what? Beliefs, right? And what will happen is you will start to manifest the opportunities over time when you believe that. Because what you focus on the longest becomes what? Strongest. So I'm reprogramming my brain. Now, folks, this is where the last R comes in. Repeat. C, cancel. R, reframe. The last R, repeat. It's not enough to just say it 5 times and expect a massive result. And this is the problem with our society. It's the whole magic pill effect. We want maximum value, tons of value, but we want to put in the least amount of time and effort. You want to be happy? Take a pill. You want to do this? Take a pill. You want to get these abs? Use this machine I have for you. In 30 days, you'll get 6-pack abs. Marketers have to do that to sell you. If they told you the truth, right? That success is a long, narrow road. Success is all the way over there. It's a slow, steady progress. I want to increase my bicep muscle. I have to eat right. I have to go to the gym consistently, maybe 3 times a week, and I have to pump that iron. And then after about a month, I may see a 1 centimeter increase in my muscle. Then now it's month 2. I've got to just drag my feet, be disciplined, self-discipline, right? Got to do it again. I'll see another centimeter at the end of the month 2. Keep going and keep going and keep going. And this may work with the ab machine too. I'm doing the ab machine, maybe see a centimeter off my waist. And after about a year, I'm all the way here. Now I see a noticeable difference. That is the truth. Because marketers in this country especially, I do business, I know how all the copy works. 10x results, I have to do that for my own business too, right? You just have to do this. Because you're appealing to the reptilian part of the brain, which is the emotional part of your brain, right? So it's the reptilian, it's the emotionally animalistic part of your brain. If they appeal to the rational, logical part of your brain, they can't sell any products. They have to create that sense of pain, sense of urgency. So if they told you the truth, that success is a slow, steady progress, do you think they'll sell products? Will businesses sell products? No way. Okay? So that's why when I have trained this class where I had a student tell me I have to do all this stuff, that's the same thing with my friend John. I have to do all this stuff. You have to change your neural associations, how you associate with the process. Because I'm going to cover problem-solving strategies. I'm going to talk about relationship strategies like that. If someone's more of a relator, you have to pat them on the back first, show appreciation. And the other gal, she was more of a director. She doesn't like all that people stuff. And she's like, I have to do all that stuff every time? I don't know. How bad do you want change? How bad do you want change? That's what you have to ask yourself, okay? So, does anyone know, on average, how long does it take to change a habit? 22, right. On average, it's about 30 to 60 to 90 days to really solidify the habit. To make it solid, it takes about 30 to 60 to 90 days. A lot of times we look at habits and we look at the actions, the habitual action someone commits. But that's wrong. We must look at the habitual thought process. That's the pre-habits, the pre-action step. What did I say? Your thoughts lead to what? Feelings lead to what? So we must go back a little bit and see what's this person's habitual thought, because your deeds come from thoughts first. So we have to backtrack and see what is your habitual thought process. And at some point in time, it becomes unconscious. You're not even consciously thinking about it. But at first, you want to consciously think about it. And over a year, when you do those, you write your affirmations down, you're reading, you may put it on your office wall. Hey, I love conflict. You have a visual. It's all you're penetrating that into your brain. And on average, see, it does not work. If you expect that after today, you go in and you just say, I love conflict, and you forget about it, right? You're not going to get any significant results. You have to be serious about reading your affirmations. I highly suggest writing them down, or maybe analyzing yourself. What kind of consistent negative thoughts are you having? You cross those out and you write the exact opposite. And now you print that out, and that's your template right there. And you have that, and you repeat that, and you rehearse that every day consistently. It doesn't have to be too long, right? Don't overwhelm yourself. At times, the reason why we procrastinate is the way we chunk things. Be mindful of how you chunk things. That same day when John was telling me all those excuses, I said, all right, what do you want to have for dinner? You want to go Mexican or Italian? He said, Italian. Did you know he didn't give me a story that, Sib, it's going to take us 30 minutes to drive to the city. And then once we get to the city, we have to find parking. And then we have to pay for parking. And then we have to go walk out the car. And then we have to find the seat, and wait to be waited. And then once we're seated, I have to go get the menu, wait for the waiter again, get the menu. Then I have to look at what I want. And it takes me 20 minutes stop, right? Notice how he did not negatively chunk that process. But he negatively chunked working out process. See, you can choose to chunk everything that you're doing in a negative way. And you can choose to change it and become more positive about how you chunk things. So just be mindful of that, okay? So, back to your habits, right? The thoughts that you think about on a habitual basis form your paradigms. You don't have to write this down, but I have a slide on paradigms. Let's see where it's right there, okay? A paradigm, you don't have to write this down, but this is just a slide, okay? Paradigms are the way we view the world. It is our habitual thought process. Who in here knows an individual who has a negative worldview paradigm? Say I. Right? And now, if they have a negative worldview, a negative habitual way of thinking, no, there's no opportunities, my life sucks, this person's a jerk, they think these kind of thoughts every day, are they going to capitalize on opportunities? Yes or no? Okay? Are they going to handle the problems in their life effectively? Yes or no? Okay? Are they going to make a lot of friends? Okay? Or are they going to detract a lot of people from them? Yes. So, see how your worldview attracts everything around you? It's not so much that you have to see it to believe it. It's that when you believe it in here in your mind, you will see it out there. Okay? Napoleon Hill said this, what the mind of man can believe and conceive, it can achieve. What the mind of man can believe and conceive, it can achieve. Everything, ladies and gentlemen, from the car you've driven today, from the table in your, just right here, from this workbook, from this building, where did it begin? And whose eye? Where did it begin, ladies and gentlemen? In the mind's eye. Okay? This began in the mind's eye, everything around you. Does anyone know who Roger Bannister is? Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister was the first person in 1954 to run a mile in 4 minutes. He was the first person to run a mile in 4 minutes in 1954. And do you know how many people after him since then are able or have been able to run a mile in 4 minutes? Anyone have a guess? Just throw a number out there. 3? Okay. What else? 0? What was that? 500?
2.
2? 2.5? Ladies and gentlemen, more than 20,000 people were able to run a mile in 4 minutes. And some of them were 14 and 15-year-old high school kids. Okay? Now, what did the high school kids, or what did those 20,000 people, how come they were able to run it? Why? What did they see? They knew it could be done because they saw who? They saw someone else do it. So then they saw someone else do it. So now that affected their mindset, that I can do it. So then they visualized themselves doing it. There's a power to visualization and visioning. Before you enter the conflict resolution phase, I want you to actually visualize a peaceful, happy workplace. Visualize that there is a conflict, but it's going to be solved. We're going to shake hands. I want you to, as Stephen Covey said in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you must always begin with the end in mind. You must always begin with the end in mind. Anyone who's achieved high level of successes, from athletes to business individuals, they've already visualized the end point. They didn't know how they were going to get there. Remember this, they did not know how they were going to get there, but they just had this faith. This is what I'm here to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way to do it. This is the power of visioning. Do not look at this. Is he talking about some new age, airy-fairy bunch of BS? No. This has everything to do with every area of your life, even especially dealing with conflicts and difficult individuals. You must change that perception, the association of how you deal with conflict. You must also be icy. I want you to write that down, bullet point. Right on that page, the blank page, right below CRR. I want you to write down, I'm icy. Icy means that you're solid. You're solid. You don't. Who in here has allowed the surrounding things in their life, from people saying bad things about them, affect them emotionally in here? Say aye. Many individuals, almost everyone in here, we've allowed everything on the outside to affect us emotionally. We must stop that. We must be icy. On the other end, who in here has observed someone who's so thick-skinned, who's so solid, that when people were bashing them, people were making fun of them, they hold their own ground and they did not let that affect them? Say aye. Right? And then you were looking at that person like, wow, if I were you, I'd punch someone in the face. Okay? You must be icy, meaning you're solid. You don't allow things to affect you. You're able to solve your own problems. You're able to have that internal locus of control. Okay? Right? You must check yourself before you wreck yourself. Ice cube. Icy ice cube. All right? So, I want you to say this right now on 3. I'm icy. 1, 2, 3. Yes. You must fake it till you make it believe it. This is an affirmation. An affirmative thought is 10 times greater than a negative thought. This is how you reprogram your brain, okay? So, monitor your thoughts, monitor those emotions, right? This is the whole point of this first hour. And don't worry, the next hours I'm going to cover all tactical how-to stuff. But this first hour, I would feel it would be a disservice. If you don't have the right foundation and I give you those tactics, it'll be a waste of time for you and I. Okay? So you must have that solid foundation. And I don't think when you walk out the door that you're overnight going to love conflict. Okay? But at least you're aware. The first step to changing yourself is admitting that there's a problem. And at least you're aware. Then those thoughts come in, oh yeah, I went to this class and he told me, I think it's the way I view conflict. That's why this conflict has been persisting for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Where was I? I was in Seattle. I was doing a training and I was having lunch and I was talking to the bartender and it became small chit chat. And he said, what do you do? I was like, yeah, I'm training conflict management. And he looked at me, he's like, I hate conflict. All right? So, I was like, okay. He's like, last week, and he was telling me the whole story. I said, all right, here you go. Fasten the seatbelts, okay? So, he was talking to me, and he was saying that last week, my coworker Shelly left the food out. My manager had written me up for it, that I left the food out. He's like, he's such a jerk. And I was like, well, have you talked to him? He's like, no, it's just awkward. He does not make any eye contact to the manager, doesn't like the coworker. And so for 1 week, ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that? Just for 1 week, it's been affecting his overall mood to where he's met just a random stranger and has only known him for 2 minutes, and he's gossiping about his manager behind his back. I mean, look at that. All he could have done was change that mindset. You know, thought comes in, boss is a jerk, all this. What should he have done, right? Thought comes in. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. What should he have done? Negative thought comes in. What do? Cancel. And then what do you do afterwards? And then maybe he could have said what? Conflict's not that bad, right? I could deal with this. Everything will be solved. Then he could have visualized it in his head, you know? Everything's going to be solved. The issue will be taken care of, right? He changes his focus. And then he just repeats that. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then he communicates assertively. You stand up for yourself, right? If someone's coming up to me and said, Sim, jerk, I'm tired of your late work. What's going on with this? What is this crap that you just turned in right now? I'm not going to say, 2 weeks ago, you're a hypocrite. 2 weeks ago, you were turning in your crap late. Don't come up to me with that. You want to fight? No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm violating that person's rights. I'm being aggressive, okay? You must be assertive. After we come back, we're going to talk about more about that, but I'm just giving you an introduction to it, right? So the guy comes up to me, I say, sir, I don't appreciate your tone. He says, Sib, you're a jerk. I'm tired of your crap. You're always turning in slap you late. Sir, I don't appreciate your tone. Can we talk about this? Can you specify the period of time when I've turned in my work late and where have I been sloppy so I can correct myself, because I want to establish a win-win relationship. And if I'm really doing something wrong that I'm not supposed to be doing, I'd like to know now. And thank you for bringing that up. See, I'm not violating anyone's rights, but I stood up for myself. I wasn't passive. I just didn't take that beating. And I matched his tone. Hey, sir, I don't appreciate that tone. Let's talk this out. Hey, I don't appreciate this. Hey, I don't appreciate this tone. Let's just talk this out. Okay? You don't go back with that person. Be defensive, it'll be the blame game. And you always want to focus on the issue. I'm going to cover this more in detail, but when you have a conflict with an individual, do you want to gossip? You maybe like to gossip, but is that the right thing to do? Would you gossip? No, you want to go to the what? Or to the who? Go to the source. See? People know this already. You always want to go to the source, and you want to focus on the issue. The issue is not that I'm lazy. The issue is that there's been instances where I've turned in my work later than usual or later than expected. We must address that issue. That is key. Okay? However, you see how the mental foundation comes to play. I wouldn't even go to the source. Like, I can see these are mechanics now. Now I'm going a little bit into the mechanics. Go to the source. Focus on the issue. Communicate assertively. You wouldn't do any of these things in the first place if you had the wrong foundation. Conflict sucks. It's awkward. It's drama. Oh my gosh. If I communicate assertively, my boss is going to do this. No. Folks, who do bullies love to pick on the most? People that are passive. The weak. If you stand up for yourself, what will happen eventually? You get respect. Folks, aggressives like assertive people. Aggressives like assertive people. And I want you to remember this. And maybe we'll talk about this more, but I want you to treat everyone as equals. I don't care if you're a manager, you're an employee. You don't want to have an inferiority or superiority complex. And you may have the fear, well, if I communicate this way to my boss is the problem. If I communicate this way to my boss, no, folks. Don't have that fear. Because if you listen empathetically, we're going to talk more about the communication strategies, but if you communicate assertively, you listen to that person's point of view. You don't violate that person's rights. You go to the source. You don't gossip. Why would you have that fear? It's all irrational. Does anyone know what the acronym FEAR stands for? Does anyone know? False evidence appearing real. FEAR stands for false, F, false, E, evidence, A, appearing, R, real. In other words, I like to call it negative fantasies appearing real. That's all in your head. Gotta get some water here. So you have to just monitor where you are going. You must check yourself before you wreck yourself. You see how important now the foundation is? So you need on the onset now, instead of having this negative, pessimistic view, oh, this is awkward, boring, blah, 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 this person's a jerk, right? It can be associated with the person. No. Be like, I'm going to hash this out. This person may have been disrespectful, but you know what? Let's focus on the issue and let's hash this out, and I'm going to make it work. Do the best I can. And folks, let's say you do everything you can. You know what's also part of conflict resolution? Ending the relationship. You may have to end the relationship. Folks, I don't promise to give you a magic pill, but what I'm looking to do today is to increase your chances to come up with a what kind of solution? It's called win what? Win-win solution. Okay? So my goal is to increase and improve those chances, to make it better for you. Instead of staying where you're at right now, I'm giving you these tools to maybe possibly increase those chances. I can't guarantee a magic pill. Personalities are different. The person may be so difficult. I want you to do the best you can to establishing a relationship, to doing all these skills. And if that person's not looking to do win-win, there's a concept called no deal. And you may have to strategically end that relationship. Right? Companies have termination procedures. You can bring in a mediator. There's so many things you can do. All right? But before, that should be the last resort though. You must take the initiative. Don't use it as an excuse. You're doing all these skills that I'm teaching you, right? Excuse my French, you're doing it half-ass. Okay? And then you give yourself an excuse. Oh, well, I've done everything. This person's still not budging. Well, no. Did you listen empathetically? Did you communicate assertively? Did you figure out what their intentions are? Did you figure out what their positions are? Okay? So I want you to put in the full effort, and if they're still not budging, or if they're still not willing to reciprocate, then you pat yourself on the back. It's not you, it's them. Okay? And then you may have to end that relationship. So that is also part of conflict resolution. Let's see what time we have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we covered the mindset right now, so you have the right foundation. So right now we have a 10-minute break. So please come back at 10:21. We will start right away. All right, we have a lot to cover.
I want to hear more about lunch in the bar.
Yeah, it's false evidence appearing real. Yeah. Man, it's hot in here. Whew. Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, I even left early. Like, oh my gosh, I just stopped. It just took me forever. I was like, am I ever going to get here? I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
And then parking, we couldn't find parking till way in the back.
Oh, wow,
Anyway,
okay.
I was about 10 minutes, but I felt bad.
Okay. Oh, no worries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, look at no, that might work better than that. No, because the checkbox in priority 16 at the bottom, drop that down and click no. There's a checkbox called no, that'll stuff. No, that's how I got it to work before. Okay, good luck.
It's a little warm in here. You feeling a little warm too? It's okay. Tolerable.
Yes, our set point would be 68 because we run the buildings at 68, 76.
Okay, so that's like equilibrium.
When you get a large, oxygen load, CO2 goes up, and that itself will give you that stuffy, whatever you want to call it, humid.
Oh, okay.
Feeling.
Yeah.
That might be what's going on here. There's the air, heat more air ventilation. A lot of times that's what I do when we've got a lot of people in the room. I can increase the airflow. Like the environmental control system, the JPL, I'm in charge of.
Nice. Yeah, because this happens to me every time. It's not like they're feeling warm. It's just, yeah.
Right now, it feels mighty here. I think I feel more good.
Yeah.
The occupancy level dropped a few.
Wow, I don't know how that much that has an effect.
It almost
Yeah.
I have that problem in our big auditorium. I'll run it design when I'm like when we have a guest speaker, big speaker, we have pretty big speakers. And when the place fills up, I have to be able to override the design speaker. But I also have CO2 sensors, so I see the CO2 parts per million increasing.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. They don't know it has that much of an effect. I did know it's cool down right here.
It's fair. I think I did conflict with the resolution for prior years ago when I thought that I'll go back and run through it again. But I've got there's a contractor on site. If I could end it, I would just end it. But because of the way the whole hierarchy is structured, you've got all these layers of tier on the top, and then of course me down at the bottom. The guys who got to be responsible to make work. The guys that go to me. This guy's a subcontractor. There are few people there who would, people high up in the organization that would just love to send them off to actually these spaces are probably the last. But so it's going to go on for another year or 2 years. I got to work with this guy now. And he plays the whole thing. He's using everything, everybody over there. It's all subcontractors. You know, Caltech, ran by JPL out there. So, the whole contractor hierarchy, this individual. And all I was doing is reading out to him out of his own spec when I was on set land. He didn't like it. He liked Kevin Smith, but it's been in there. So what did he do? He called my corporate office in Virginia. Told one of the VPs, this guy gets on a plane and comes down here to solve some problems. And he's been threatening he's not going to give another entity just a whole under him. Unethical game.
Wow.
But that's what I got the fly. I said, well, I'll go check it out again. Pick up on how I could possibly deal with that. I really a lot of work reading through right now. How I try to work through there. I went in on how to deal with it. Other than walk away, I can't walk away.
Yeah.
I can't turn. guy had the authority.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm gonna show you. There's ways to go about listening to them, having a brainstorm session, communicating their language. It's an elaborate process.
What gets very complicated on that, and I definitely to say with eyes also, is it a wrong? I'm not allowed direct communication. Actually, any communication has to pass through a tier of people.
Yeah.
That don't understand the mechanics of it. It's just like the example of communications 101, where you whisper something to the guy in the first row. By the time he gets back in the room, it's a totally different story. I'm up against that because I can't have because the way that he played the game, he got what he wanted. I can't have direct communication.
Right.
We go through the what I would call the weak of people that don't that aren't assertive, that won't stand up to it, roll over on it.
Yeah.
They're passive. They don't want any conflict. Just shut up.
They want to avoid it. Yeah.
It's a very in all these years, dynamic, very interesting dynamic. But then again, I love bringing on.
Yeah.
At one point, I was dirtbag, did public works contractor, and I love it. Bring it on. I'm ready.
Bring it on, dude. Take the bench more than under open civil litigation. Right.
How you deal with conflict, how you deal with complex accounting, one of the key factors. How you see it fail.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bring it on. My problem is this other guy, if they bring it on, but we bring it on, and he makes Lloyd another, to a vice president of our corporation, and another entity that, that he threatens, oh, you're not going to get $50 million in business, this guy to get back. So the next thing I know, there's a guy on an airplane out here from Virginia saying, Grant, get off this guy's back, it's going to cost your sister company $50 million in business. For you pointing out what's in his own design documents that he can't follow. And then 6 months from now, it'll be why doesn't it work? It's a fun one.
It's cool. It's great.
And it's all because I can't cover it because I can't walk. All I can do is shrug my shoulders up. It's funny because I've already set a couple of meetings there, coming at me and he's looking at me, shrug my shoulders. I told you so. And the room goes silent. And I sat back and I laughed because it's the truth. I thought, you're all coming at me. Everybody's all stirred up and heated and communication is taking place. And you're directing at me and coming at me for it. And I just looked at the team and said, I told you so. In this room that was heated and quite loud, all just goes silent. Nobody got a word. So I was going to sit there and try not to chuckle. But of course, if they see me chuckling and laughing at them, that's just going to irritate them. But at the same time, it's hard when when you see this so heated because I told you so. How do you not chuckle?
Yeah. All right, I got to get going here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started here. Now we are going to talk about communication strategies. Okay, what kind of communicators did I say we must be? Does anyone remember? Assertive. We never want to be what? Passive or aggressive. Exactly. So, and one of my biggest pet peeves is giving in. We always want to stand up for ourselves, but so we're not being passive, but we don't want to violate the other person's rights. That means we're not being aggressive. So we're in the middle, right there, that sweet spot. And for the first hour, I wanted you. What are some highlights that you will take away? Just some golden nuggets. Anyone? What were some highlights? Being icy, you control your own emotions. Anything else? What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. I heard something back here. What was that? Mindset. Good. Mindset is what percentage of the game? 80. All right. Good. So that's, I don't guarantee by you changing the mindset that you're going to solve the conflict or resolve the issue, but that is a big part of the game. It is the first step. And you've just increased your chances tenfold because, like I said, 80% is psychology. So once you have the right psychology, okay, it's not a big deal, we're going to hash it out. You visualize, you have the vision of what you want to see, then the action steps will not be as painful because that leads your behavior. You see how all this works. Visioning is so key to your results in life. Writing things down, knowing what you want. When I've had clients that are unhappy or unfulfilled in their life, it's because they don't know exactly what they want in the different areas of their life. And folks, if you don't know your goals, did you know 90% of Americans do not write their goals down? Guess what? If you do not write your goals down, you will work for someone who has written their goals down and you will help their dreams come true. Okay? So have clarity. If you don't know what you want, find it. Be on a search to figure out what you want. Alright? But make sure you have that clarity. It's all about clarity. That's what takes you to the next level. All right, let's see. Let's go to page 3, please. Page 3. And we're going to... Question? What? Oh. All right, here's the assertive communication here. We will go to page 3. Identify essential communication skills. So, essential communication skills. Assertiveness. Big. And here's a definition. By Carol, I got this definition from Carol Price. When I talk about the resources page later to show you some of the resources we have available to supplement your knowledge, one of those resources is by Carol Price. Excellent resource telling you about the different techniques to be the most effective assertive communicator that you can be. And she defines it this way. An assertive communicator defends his or her rights without violating the rights of others. Okay? Now, in brief, so someone who has a passive personality type, what kind of behaviors have you noticed them exhibiting? Someone who's very passive. What do you notice about passive individuals? Let things slide. What was that?
They cry.
They can cry. Anything else? They give in. What about when it comes to eye contact? They avoid, right? They avoid. What about communication in general? Right? They can avoid, yeah. They're not as talkative. Okay, so that's passive. And now we have aggressive. So what? Vice versa. So how's an aggressive? What kind of behaviors do they exhibit? Tone of voice? Huh? They talk loud. They're what? They are in your face. Hand gestures. Maybe it's a fist formation, right? Anything else? Stare you down. Scare you down. All right? Exactly. So that's an aggressive trait or behavioral style. Now, this is kind of subtle. What about passive aggressive?
So they won't say things to you, but they'll do things quietly or they'll do things with other people.
Yeah. What was that?
In the back.
Retaliatory, stab you in the back. They're a little two-faced. Smile in your face, and then they'll go behind your back, and they'll gossip away, right? You know what? And they say a lot of sarcastic remarks as well. Oh, you're on time again. No more partying, huh? And then you're like, what? They're being sorry. You know what I like to call passive aggressive individuals? They are the snipers. Snipers. They're waiting for that right time to strike. Okay? Retaliatory. They're waiting to retaliate. They take it in, then they explode. Okay? So that's passive aggressive tendencies. So like I said, as an assertive communicator, right, you want to use I language. You don't want to always say you. You want to use I. I don't appreciate that tone. Say, hey, you're a jerk. Stop yelling at me. You don't want to say that. That's being aggressive. I don't appreciate this tone. Can we talk about this? And also, you know what's one of the root causes of conflict is making assumptions. I want all of us to stop making assumptions on behalf of every other person without understanding the intention behind positions. And I want you, when you're communicating, as an assertive communicator, to make your intentions clear. Don't assume that when I have someone do this, that they already should assume, they should already know what I mean by this when I tell them to do this. Stop that. Change that habit. I will give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I was in Portland training. Students in here were complaining. It's too cold. It's too cold. Turn it up a little bit. So I went to the front desk. I go to the front desk. I say, hey, can we turn up the heater? It's kind of cold in there. Students have been complaining. Okay? I go back. 20 minutes later, it's still cold. Okay, and then 30 minutes. And then it was about 35 minutes when I finally went back there. Second time. Well, we didn't notice any temperature change. Could you please turn the temperature up? Again, students are complaining that it's cold. That's my position, right? I want the temperature to go up. Okay? And I want you to write this down on the notes margin. I want you to put what? Put a bullet point, put what? I want you to put a parentheses, put position. The what indicates the position. Okay? So my position was I want to turn the heat up, or the temperature up. So I went back the second time. Now I go back, and I had to wait another 30 minutes. No change. So now, folks, these thoughts started coming in. Negative thoughts. Man, it's not changing. I told them 5 times, blah, 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 blah. It started coming. What did I need to do? Cancel. All right. Check yourself. Cool. Keep it cool. Cancel. I can deal. And then I had to reframe. I can deal with this. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Everything will be resolved. I will deal with this. Just said it to myself in my mind, right? It's okay. Deep breath. Deep breath. Okay? So now I go to the front desk, to the counter up here in the lobby, right? I look the gal, nice gals, right? So I talk to the gal again, and I didn't say, are you crazy? Where is your manager? I went to you 2 times, and you still have the nerve to ignore me, and you haven't increased it. I didn't do that. That's aggressive. That's violating that person's rights. Okay? This is what I did. I had to check myself. I said, hey, listen, I understand I have come a few times here, and however, unfortunately, I haven't noticed any temperature change. And now, this is where I have to explain my reasoning, which is the why. So underneath the what, I want you to put a bullet point, put the why, and then put a parentheses next to the why, and put this indicates the interests/intentions. This is how you figure out. When you ask why, you figure out the other party's interests/intentions, or you can state your own interests, your reasons. These are the reasons behind your position. Simple. Okay? Don't overcomplicate things. This stuff is all simple. So, I'm talking to the gal on the front desk. I say, the reason why I need the temperature to go up, I need to practice what I preach. Now I need to make my intention clear. Or my position clear by stating the intention. And the way you state your intention, it says, this is why I need this done. Or this is the reason why I'm asking you to do this. Is because my students, they've taken time out of their day for 7 hours to be in this room to absorb the information. Now, when the environment or when the temperature is so cold, it's hard for them to grasp what I share with them or what I teach them. And what happens at the end of the day, there are evaluation forms. And when they fill that out, 9 times out of 10, what I've observed is that those students will write that down. That staying at the best restaurant is horrible. It was just too cold. And now when this happens, our company gets that and reads that. And we may never, ever, ever again book a seminar at this hotel. We may never, ever, unfortunately, see, you have to show what's in it for them. Everyone's like, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? When you're communicating and you just focus on yourself, you're not going to influence that other person's behavior. That's how you create win-win. You want to combine interests. Hey, the next time, we'll never book a seminar at this hotel, and I don't want you to lose business. Take it the next step, right? Folks, I go back now, 35 minutes later, you know what happened? Oh, it's too hot. Do not make assumptions that they're on your same page. That's why. That's the whole point. And vice versa, you don't make assumptions on someone else. You have to ask them, what's your position? Why do you feel that way? Okay? And then you listen to them. We're going to talk about all this stuff. Okay? So just be mindful. These key questions, the what and why, will transform. These are simple mechanical things. But again, we know what to do, but we do not do what we know. So just add this to your repertoire. So just ask the what and the why. I will give you an example. My friend, he's a couples counselor. He's a therapist, couples counselor, okay? He was telling me a story. He was It was a husband and wife couple, and at the end of the session, it was towards the end of the session, and the wife, this couple was like in their mid-40s, and the wife turns to the husband and says, honey, let's go eat at this place. The husband looks at the wife and says, not today, honey. And then the wife looks at my friend and says, see? And then my friend said, hey, slow it down there. Okay, let's not overreact. Slow it down. Sherry, what do you want? So what's her position? She wants to eat there, right? That's her position. All this in 1 minute. Imagine if they were stuck on that position. How would that car ride back home feel like? Awkward, right? And that whole night, the day, that may harbor some resentment amongst that couple. Okay? But all you had to do to change that dynamic was just spend 1 minute figuring out intentions. This is what happened. My friend, talked to the gal, Sherry, right? She said, so Sherry, why did you say that you want to eat there? Well, she said, I felt that we were just having such a strong connection and I just wanted that one-on-one time before he goes and picks the kids up from school. Okay. Now, we asked, then he asked Ted. He's like, Ted, so why did you say no? Well, because the place she picked was way too far away from the kids' school. And she said, like, I would be late if I were to go back, and it had to do with the kids and the location. Okay? There you go, folks. You figure out the interests, the intentions behind the position, and what do? The way you come up with the win-win solution is you combine interests. So you know what happened? It's okay, is there a place? So we know that the wife just wants that connection. She doesn't even care of what place, what the location is. She just wants connection. We know the husband may be open to eating. He just wants it to be closer to the kids' school. So, is there a place which is close to the kids' school which satisfies both parties' interests? And yes, there was. They found the place, then they went there. Win-win solution. 1 minute, folks. This only took 1 minute. And it transformed the entire relationship dynamic. All what they did was asking what? Asking why. The reason why we're scared to ask the why and we try to make assumptions is because we're scared of conflict and addressing the issue. That's really what it is. Okay? We're not being assertive. We're being scared. The reason why we're not being assertive is because we don't like dealing with conflict. You have to stand up and be assertive. What did you mean by that? Why did you say that? Because you want to get their interest clear. Okay? Well, this is my position. This is why I say this. Okay? The what and the why. Okay? So, listening, I want you to put a dash. So below assertiveness, there's listening, put a dash, put empathetic listening. Folks, empathetic listening, does anyone know what that is? What is empathetic listening? What was that? Caring, yeah. What's the root word of empathetic? Empathy, right? Folks, empathetic listening is the highest level of listening. It's not attentive listening, just listening to what they say and then backtracking and clarifying. It's not that. It takes it to the highest level. Okay? This is what empathetic listening is. The person's talking to you. Remember, who in here has been in a situation? I've been guilty of it. Someone's talking to you and you're not listening to them, you're just waiting to throw in your own 2 cents. Right? Who in there has been victim of this or has done this? Say aye. Everyone. Stop that habit. It's really problematic. It really does not foster any win-win relationship. It does not even build solid relationships. Stop that. This is a habit. This is a practice you must foster in your tool belt. Okay? So, empathetic listening, this is the highest level of listening. The person's talking to you, and you may not even like them, but you need to take the high road. Person's talking to you, and you are in their shoes. You think the way they think. You know their wants, their needs, their aches, their pains, their desires. Okay? You're really understanding their thought processes. You really know what they are all about when they are talking to you. You are in their shoes. But folks, remember, you do not have to agree with what they say. You only have to accept what they say. Right? We're not being passive. Accept what they say. Be in their shoes. You don't have to agree because we're assertive. We never give in. So you talk, they talk. You're in their shoes. I really want you to engage in that type of listening. Guys, gals, how does it feel when you're being listened to? When someone's genuinely listening to you? How does it feel? Great in what way? Why? You feel appreciated? What was that?
Being heard.
You're being heard, which makes you feel what?
Validated.
Respected. All these things. Love, value. You build that trust. Who do you want to build business with or do business with? Someone you trust. Who do you want to resolve a conflict with? Right? Someone you trust. Listening alone, we think we have to talk, but he who talks least wins. I was at this cocktail party, this business cocktail party here locally, and I met with this guy, nice guy, he's in his 70s, big shot guy, big business, big time, sold his business, and I was talking to him. And his personality style, he's more of a socializer, chatterbox. Who in here has met an individual where in 2 minutes, they don't even know you and you know their whole life story? Okay? This is what this guy was. Nice guy. Okay? So I was just talking and he was just talking, which is cool. It's fine. Okay? Folks, I did not even reveal. I revealed very little of myself. But when he was talking, I was just listening for a good period of time. Afterwards, you know what happened? He would introduce me to other key individuals and he would compliment me off the radar. I didn't even deserve any of those compliments. Oh, have you met Sid? He's a successful business owner, blah, 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 right? I didn't deserve any of those compliments because I didn't reveal much about myself. But why? Why was he willing to go out of his way to help me out? Listening. I thought that, right? Initially you think, I have to sell myself, I have to do this, I have to talk. No. Sometimes you just listen. And that solves the trick. Speak when spoken to, okay? He who talks least wins. So that empathetic listening is the highest level of listening. Now, when this person that's a social thing, that's different. But when you're in a one-on-one, serious problem-solving session, person's talking to, you're figuring out the position by asking, how do you find their interest? Why? So, as they're talking to me, I'm listening empathetically. When they're done talking, do I just talk back with them? Share my interests? What do I do afterwards? I want you to remember these two phrases, backtrack and clarify. You must backtrack and clarify. Why do you want to backtrack and clarify? What does this do? You get a clear understanding of what they're talking about and what else? One more. They know that you know what's going on. Okay? So it's twofold. Have a party here? All right. Let's do it. Get her done. All right. So all right. So backtrack and clarify. That's the key to part of empathetic listening. Do we want to just backtrack once and clarify once? Just one time? 2 times? Whatever it takes before both parties are on the same page. Okay? So, empathetic listening is key. Now let's go to body language. Folks, what's the percentage of communication that's nonverbal? Do you know? Okay, we have 90. Any other guesses? Yeah, about I would say between 80 to 93% of communication is nonverbal. So what are nonverbal forms of communication? Finger, gestures, body language. But I think 1%, there's one more thing though. This is like 38%. That's part of facial expression. Yeah, eye contact. But one more thing, folks. That's body language. One more. Tone, yeah. Vocal tonality. That's 38% of the game. Folks, your words do not really matter. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, man. I hate you. I hate you. Come on, let's fight. Hey. Right? Do those mean the same thing? The same words, though. So pay attention of how you come across. Okay, pay attention. This is all unconscious and unconscious level. So what does this mean when you're talking to someone, you're engaging someone, right? And you're listening empathetically. Is this empathetic listening? Do you want to be like your body language? Someone's talking to me, and you're let's say you come up to me, break, and you're talking to me. I'm like this. Yeah, talk to me. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm listening. What does this convey? I'm not listening, right? You want to be like this, opening. This is all subcommunicated, ladies and gentlemen. Subcommunication, right? If my posture is like this, I'm talking like this. Guys, let's turn to page, clear eyes, page 7, please, and, right? That conveys something. I don't know my material, I'm not confident, whatever, right? So, and this is all subcommunication. It's not that you're consciously saying, oh, this person's body language is this way, so this means that this. It's not like you're a psychologist. It's just unconscious. It's common sense. So pay attention how you come across with your tone, especially some of us in here. I know there's always a few people in here. You think that you are being assertive, but you are really coming across as aggressive. Okay? And maybe you've experienced this. Someone thinks they are being assertive, but they're really being aggressive. I told them this in a nice way. I smiled. And I said, hey, I think you're good at doing this. So here's the 40-page sheet of paper. And if you can attend this meeting here next week, that's going to be great. And I have a smile. That's not being assertive, folks. That's really bad. Management 101. If you want to improve teamwork, employee morale, you must include everyone in the decision-making process. And that could even just mean getting someone's input. You're the manager, you're the head, you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? I want to get everyone's advice and input on this. If we do this, what do you think? Just doing that little gesture, making that little gesture will really improve the overall organizational environment. Include everyone in the decision-making process. Okay? We'll talk more about that. Conflict management resolution, definitely that's, understanding the what, the why, or I'm going to go step by step. What do you need to do on a sit-down situation? So we're going to cover that in detail. So, how we can handle conflict, we can ignore it, strive to improve the relationship, or end the relationship. So the last two is something we want to do. Either improve the relationship or end the relationship. Okay? And maybe we may want to ignore it or forget it if it's not that big of a deal. If it doesn't harm you and it doesn't affect the organization. Remember, you must pick and choose your battles. You don't need to handle every situation, but pick the most important ones. The high priority situations. Where if I do not solve this, everything will go haywire. We have common sense. And also, one thing I wanted to add. Write this down on conflict. Go to the source. Always, you want to go to the source. And we always want to, do we focus on the person? What do we focus on? Issue. Write that down. Comma, focus on the issue. Lost my train of thought. What I was going to say. Man. So we focus, I said we go to the source, we focus on the issue. This is what I was going to say. So, someone's being aggressive towards you or the conflict happens. You do not have to address the source that day. We all have common sense. Know when is the right time. Maybe, Sib, you're lazy, I'm tired of your work, this is just sloppy, it's crap. What's going on here? Sir, I don't appreciate this tone. Can we talk this out? Okay, can we talk about this Wednesday? Maybe Wednesday, let's just handle it. And I'm really trying to strive, I'm trying to improve, but I really want this win-win relationship to work. Boom. And then you set up a time. Maybe you might want to schedule it Wednesday at 12. Okay? You know when's the right time to address the issue and the source. Remember, folks, they've taken brains of individuals and these scanners, MRI scanners, and what they've noticed is that when you have thoughts, when you have fear, anger, you know how they say you can't think straight? You really can't think straight when you have anger and fear. In your consciousness, they put brains through these scanners, or people through these scanners, measure their brain frequencies. And what happened was that when individuals